Hi all, Leanne here from Team Monkey and Barefoot. I hope you're all well. So I'm here on my own today as Jermaine and Theo are otherwise occupied. So I just thought that I would follow up on our video from last week and talk about my transition to work. So if you've seen last week's video, you'll know that Jermaine and I were talking about me going back to work and some of the things that we were doing to try and make that transition a bit easier. So I just thought I'd go into a bit more detail about that. So I'm now going into my, golly, 5th week back at work. Yeah, I've done 4 weeks. Yeah, going into my 5th week back at work. Time is just flying, which means that Theo is going into his 6th week at nursery, which, yeah, it just feels like time is just going so quickly. I'm not really too sure what's going on here. Yeah, and then I spoke about some of the last week about some of the things that making life a bit easier with going back to work. And the thing that I picked up in our last video was that just being prepared. And I think that is probably the biggest one for me. So being prepared has been kind of key to helping me make this transition, and that's being prepared with stuff at home, so that all of the things that I used to do when I was at home on maternity leave that I can't now do if I'm working, just trying to get those things kind of front loaded in the weekend, try and get everything done so that when we get to my first day back at work that I know all of those things are done. So we try and front load all of the washing and the ironing, and the biggest one for us, I think, is to make sure that we've cooked for the week. Now we are extremely lucky in that Jermaine's mum and my mum both cook for us every week. They're both great cooks and they cook loads, and so they're always bringing us stuff over every week, which really helps out with our dinners. So what Jermaine and I do then is we would then do our kind of meal prep to make sure that we have, to supplement what our parents give us, lunches for every day and dinners for every evening, just so that it just takes that one thing away that we have to think about, that we don't have to think about it. So yeah, and then on a Monday, because we both work Tuesday to Friday, we both compress our hours. And so on a Monday we like to get we get all our pots lined up for lunches, and they're all dished up for breakfast and lunch, and then we have our dinners dished up for a few days in the week, whatever we've got there. We get them dished up so that when we get home from work, it's just dinner in the microwave, and in the morning before work, it's just take your 2 pots out of the fridge, put them in your bag, and you are sorted. Because I think during the week or in the mornings, I would never probably get that stuff done. I know sometimes you make the time and you have to, but I think I'd be far more likely to be like, oh no, it's okay, I'll just buy lunch tomorrow, which is so easy to do, but then I end up buying stuff that probably isn't that great, really expensive, so I don't spend it too much money. So it just makes such a big difference to me to know that it's in the fridge, it's already done, and Jermaine and I are going to be eating well and not wasting our money on food in Canary Wharf, which is, yeah, quite expensive. So I think that actually is probably the biggest one. But not only food and stuff like that, actually, I would mention is that one of those people, I like to have my clothes ready the night before as well. So I have hanging up on my wardrobe my like work dress, and I know what shoes I'm going to wear in my head and all of that. My bag is packed, Theo's bag is packed, his clothes are ready. Jermaine's the same as well, so he has all of his clothes ready the night before. I just feel like it makes such a difference. You know, there's those things that actually when you wake up and when your alarm goes off in the morning, that makes it a bit easier to get out of bed is, oh, okay, yeah, I know everything's done. I don't really need to think too much. I can just get up, do what I need to do, and yeah, not have to think, really. That helps me get out of bed anyway in the morning, the fact that I know that I'm already prepared. So I think that's probably quite a big one that's really helped my transition back to work. The other one, and this is going to make me sound really old and boring, but it's actually getting into bed at a good time. So I have always been one for going to bed early. I think I get that from my mum. She goes to bed very early. And so when I lived at home, we'd always be like, oh yeah, it's 9 o'clock. Should we go to bed? Let's go and watch TV in bed. So yes, I think that's now I've realised the joys of going to bed early again. So Jermaine and I, both of us actually, we both get up quite early. Like to be in bed. As you may have heard from our previous video, we're Love Island fans, and so getting upstairs and making sure we're fully ready to bed before Love Island starts is our goal every evening. So yeah, so going to bed early is my second one, because Jermaine and I both compress our hours, which means that we have 4 long days. And for me, because I do the nursery drop-offs and pick-ups for Theo, I work from home in the morning, usually from about 5:30 until Theo wakes up, and he wakes up any time between 6:30 and 7, so I will work then, just to get in those extra hours, because I have to do, on my 4 days it averages 9 hours a day. So yeah, so I do that. So I get up early and do that, whereas Jermaine will get up and he will go to the gym or do some reading. He may even start work at home as well, but he does the majority of his hours in the office, which means that he is on a very early train in the morning. While I'm here working at home, he is off to the station to get a very early train. So we have to get to bed early, or else, yeah, I think I become a bit grumpy if I'm tired. And the same is probably true for Jermaine. He probably won't thank me for saying that, but I think we both get a bit grumpy when we're tired. So getting to bed early has helped, because yeah, when you're in the office and you need to function, there's nothing worse than being tired and then knowing that you then obviously have a lot to do in the evening as well when you get home to get ready for the next day. So yeah, makes me sound a bit older and boring, but definitely loving my bed at the minute. Definitely want to be in bed at 9 a.m. And also, Theo's a bit unpredictable in the night at the minute. Like, he's really good. He does sleep for really long stretches, but when he's teething, and also just randomly he will get up a few times in the night, and so I'll get up to him, and so that really helps if I've gone to bed early, just because he will get up maybe around 2-3 o'clock in the morning sometimes. And so if you've had like a good long stretch, so say from getting to bed at 9 and I'm maybe asleep by 10, 10:30, to have that kind of long stretch from say 10:30 till 3 where I've managed to get a good sleep before I then get up, actually really does make a difference. Whereas if I'm going to bed at say 11 or 12, then yeah, I'm really feeling it if Theo gets up in the night. So yeah, bed early. I guess the third one for me, and this one came to me actually just before I pressed record on this video, was I think it's actually really helped to get Theo into a nursery that we really like, and that he seems to really like, because then when I do drop him off and go to work, I can then concentrate at work and I'm not worrying about Theo. I know he's okay, I know he's having a good time, which actually I give myself then permission to actually really embrace my time at work and make sure I'm doing a good job on my actual work that I have to do. But also, if I do want to go and have a coffee with a friend or something like that, then that's absolutely fine, because I know Theo's okay. So for me, that truly has made a big difference. And we chose a nursery for Theo. Obviously we could have chosen a nanny or a childminder, but for us a nursery worked well, because we thought that Theo would like that. He's quite a sociable person. He likes children and he likes kind of interacting with lots of different people, so we thought the nursery setting would be really good for him in that sense. And also for us working, we were thinking about kind of contingency. So if you have a childminder or a nanny and they're not very well, or when they want to go on holiday and things like that, then you have to find other arrangements. And so for us, we were just thinking a nursery works well. And the fact that we found one that we really like, it seems that Theo really likes, that actually has made my transition back to work far easier, because I actually couldn't imagine sending Theo somewhere that we didn't like. And also, if he seemed like he was unhappy there and he wasn't very settled, then I really don't think I would have transitioned as well back to work. So that's a big one. And the last one for me, I think I'm going to talk about one more thing that's really made my transition back to work a bit easier, and it's kind of gone quite smoothly, is not to make too many plans on the weekend. And I never used to get this before. So when I was on maternity leave, I'd always want to make plans on the weekend with Jermaine. I'd be like, let's go and do this, or let's go and do that, let's meet up with these people or those people, let's go and see these friends or do these things. And he, while he actually really enjoys doing that, sometimes he was like, oh, you know, Leanne, I just need a weekend when we're not doing anything. And while I can kind of understand that, because sometimes it's nice not to do very much, it was only when I actually went back to work that I thought, yeah, it's so true. I really don't want to fill up all of my weekends with lots of plans, because that's time that we get to spend together as a family. Like, I obviously used to take it for granted because I was with Theo the whole week and absolutely loved it. But then when I'm working 4 days a week and he's in nursery, I do really miss him, and I miss that time with him. And so that one-on-one time with him, or that time with the three of us. And so that's, I guess, trying to keep some weekends free. Obviously we still want to go and see friends and do things with family, and there are we love doing that kind of thing. I think it's been really important for us to keep some protected time for us as a family, so that we can do stuff together, but also so that, say, if there's something that I want to do or Jermaine wants to do, then we've kind of got the space to do that, because we've got some weekends where we don't make any plans. So if I was like, Jermaine, I'm going to go and do this thing because I really want to do this thing for myself, then Jermaine would be with Theo and I would go off and do my thing. But that only works if we've kind of protected that time for ourselves and as a family. So yes, I think that's made my transition back to work a lot easier as well, because I feel like if I'm really busy at work and I'm kind of missing Theo, missing Jermaine, because the weeks we're kind of a bit on autopilot, it's kind of working long days, getting home, getting Theo ready for bed, like bath. We joke, we've got this routine, so it's dinner, bath, bottle, bed, and it kind of sounds like quite regimented, but that's kind of how it works, because he's so tired when he gets back from nursery. So we have to follow that routine, and then it's getting ready, making sure that we have dinner and get ready for the next day. So then when you get to the weekend and you just want to relax and not have any plans and be a bit less structured, and that's kind of really helped me, definitely, because I do feel like my transition back to work has gone really smoothly, and that's, I guess, in a big part thanks to Jermaine and his support in kind of supporting me to get back to work, and kind of being there and giving me what I need at different times. Even if I don't know what I need myself, he seems to have a knack of knowing what I need. He's kind of very good at appearing with a glass of wine when he knows that I need it. So I'm very lucky in that sense. But yeah, and especially grateful that he's kind of so in tune with what I may need at a time, and he's very good at giving me what I need in that sense. So I'm extremely grateful to that. So because of all of that, the support that I've had from Jermaine, the planning that we've put into finding Theo in nursery and working out kind of a daily routine. I had a couple of weeks before, I'll share this with you, a couple of weeks before I went back to work, Jermaine said to me, like, what is your plan for your days? You've got to do these compressed hours, you're doing the nursery drop-offs and pickups because he has to do his long days in the office. Kind of, how are you going to do it all? And I sat there with my iPad and wrote out kind of a daily schedule about how my day would work, and that's what I stick to, and it has worked. So all that planning, all of the support from Jermaine has kind of, I think, really paid off. And yeah, I'm just happy that I can share with you the things that have worked for me. And you never know, some of them may work for you, they may not. You may have your own things, and if you do have your own things that work for you, then I would love to hear about them, because I'm kind of one of these people, I always know there's room for improvement. And while I feel like the routine that we have at the minute is working, I know that there could probably be tweaks that we would make to make it work even better. So please do share anything that any ideas that you have. Like, I know on our previous video, our really good friend Bex spoke about the slow cooker, and that's such a good point in terms of making meals and getting prepared. So that's a great point that she made. And so I've been googling slow cooker recipes, because usually I just bung everything in the slow cooker and hope that it turns out okay, but I think there's more that I can do to make tastier recipes in the slow cooker. And I'm going to see her in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to pick her brains on her top recipes. So honestly, any ideas or thoughts that you have, please do share them, because I really do appreciate them, and so does Jermaine. We really do. And so before I go, I'd just like to say, as always, thank you all so much for your support, your comments, your likes, watching our videos. We really appreciate it, and we're going to keep going. And I know that last week we also spoke about getting fit, and that's a topic I haven't spoken about today, and we said we would talk more about it, but I'm going to wait, and so Jermaine and I can talk about that together, because that's kind of a real journey that we're going on together. So it only feels right that we talk about it together. So that's one for the future. And so I really hope that you enjoy the rest of your weeks. You've had a good Monday, and as always, thank you so much for all of your support, and I will speak to you soon. Okay, bye.